Well, today I have a treat for you. I am talking to the amazing, wonderful Rhonda, and she actually serves Columbia, South Carolina, and she's going to go and talk about all the areas that she does serve. But hello, friend, how are you today?
Hey, Jennifer, I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm so glad. Look at you. You're in a tropical paradise, first of all. I love that for you.
Yes.
I'm in a snow-covered area, but listen, the one thing I love the most about South Carolina is when you're driving to South Carolina from any part of the country, as soon as you hit that border, I'm not even kidding, palm trees everywhere.
Well, the interesting part here, because I serve Columbia, which is almost smack dab in the middle of the state, the cool part for us is you're about 2 hours from Myrtle Beach, you're about an hour and some change from Charleston, and then right at 2 hours from, say, Asheville. So we're right smack dab in the middle, but literally just hop, skips, and jumps to most of the attractions that people love, which is
So
awesome.
what you're saying is you're in the perfect area.
That part. I did not say it, you said it. So that's fine.
Well, I I'm so excited to talk to you today because you are full of experience. You're obviously an amazing realtor and you help people all over Columbia, but also you're going to tell us maybe a little bit more about what else you do. But so tell everyone who you are, anything you want about yourself and kind of how you got into real estate and maybe what other things you do in life.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm Rhonda Sweatt. I cover Columbia, which is basically right smack dab in the middle of South Carolina. I'm also a dual career. So I'm a respiratory therapist at night, working 13-hour shifts, 3 nights a week. And then on the off time, we'll call it, when I'm not at the hospital, I'm actually, doing real estate. The cool part for me is there's another facet to this that as a kid, something that was very important to me was music. It, of course, still is very important, but I'm also in the marching band world. So you mentioned Charleston before, and one of the things about Charleston is Somerville is probably about 20 minutes closer to me, if you will, so it's about probably 20 minutes from Charleston. I teach their marching band, have since 2005. And then I used to do bands of Remo here. So lots of facets within that. So it's a lot of fun. That of course shaped some of how I operate. And then of course you take the respiratory piece, medicine or the practice of, much like with music, everything is, there's no perfection in it, if that makes sense. You just basically take what you learn, lay it over top of things. And those two pieces have been very instrumental in my work as a realtor. I've been a realtor for 7 years now. And so I've been doing the dual career piece for 7 years. So I absolutely love it. It is not my goal right now to stop doing respiratory, only because that has built my ecosystem to where I'm creating and cultivating my own sphere within the hospital. And then referrals come from that, and then those folks as well. So having a blast, loving it. And of course, anytime you want anything from me, all you have to do is ask, friend.
Oh my goodness, I love it. And you know what? One thing I do know about you from hearing you talk and on calls and different things, you are so passionate about both respiratory and real estate. And of course, now I remembered you talking about being part of bands because I think I mentioned one time in your post Bands of America, which is in Indianapolis. Like they come to Indianapolis. And I think Jenny Newmeyer is in that. She is in that sphere also because I she came to Indianapolis. But you are so passionate about, both careers. You said, was it 30 years you've been in at the hospital?
That's right. May will be 31 years, and absolutely love it. And it's just, like I said, it's just one of those scenarios that is just ironically, think 30 years ago, we didn't have the internet. So when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do as a mere 17-year-old, it was in a book. And originally it was dental hygiene. And I'm like, I can't mess in people's mouths for, 4 days a week, 10 hours a day. That's gross. And then it was, what about paramedic? My dad's like, they don't make anything, moving right along. And so then it was like, ooh, what about respiratory? Let's check that out. And so here we are. So yeah, a lot of fun, and I do enjoy taking care of people. I think one of the things that may be a little bit of a lost art is when it comes to healthcare proper. Some people look at it as a job. If you don't have a caregiver heart, it'll eat you up. I think you have to. or at least for me, there are times where I have to put myself in positions that maybe other folks would shy away from, that could be very gut wrenching and heart tearing because I have to remember that particular person in that particular room is somebody's somebody. Same thing with real estate. I just have to always remember their money. They've worked. They're ready to get in a home and they just don't know the process and they're just looking for somebody to lock arms with and let's get it done. So
I
that's kind of
love that.
that's
No, please go ahead. I just love that because here's the thing that I think. I think that you truly, to be in real estate with all my heart, I think you truly have to care about people so much and have their best interests at heart. And, with you working with patients in the hospital, it just translates to real estate so much because we truly, I think if you want to be in real estate, you truly have to care about these people. Do you agree?
absolutely, absolutely. And the creating of my own ecosystem basically has come from I work in a teaching facility that's attached to the University of South Carolina. Go Gamecocks. And that allows, so we have all types of residency programs from internal medicine to peds to trauma surgery to cardiopulmonary, all sorts of different, residencies that go from 3 years. Then you add in a fellowship, all those different things. So they can be here for years and years on end and they may choose to buy. Some folks may choose to buy, sell, do a fellowship somewhere else for 1 to 2 years, and then come back. So it just creates this dynamic of it behooves me to just, at 1:30 in the morning, when something comes across our information system and says, hey, there's a trauma patient coming in, it's a gunshot wound. And one of the surgeons says, I graduate next year. I need to talk to you about selling a house. And I'm like, do I have your number? If I don't, we're going to fix that right this minute. We've got 5 minutes when this patient gets here. Let's go. And I can't recreate
Oh,
that by picking up the phone at 1:30 in the afternoon. You know what I mean?
no.
So it's basically taking those moments, realizing they present at the right time or when they're supposed to present and just seizing that. That's
Oh my
phenomenal.
gosh.
That's just the way to get it done. At least for me.
Yeah, you're my hero. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Columbia because, not everyone knows about the capital of South Carolina. So tell us, what does Columbia have to offer? If someone wanted to move there, what do you got?
So I think obviously it's going to be the temperature. Now, literally, I grew here. Some people will fly here, but I grew here. So I'm okay with the summers and the humidity. A lot of folks are not. So if we were to go to visit Cheryl in Arizona, or I mean, I'm sorry, Las Vegas,
Yeah.
in Nevada, she's going to say, you know what, we have 110 degrees, but they don't have the
Ooh.
humidity. I'm like, girl, I see your 110 and raise you 60% humidity. So you take a shower and you're not really sure why. But conversely, we have things that can fix that. We have Lake Murray. It's phenomenal. That's actually where I grew up. And you want to talk about tons of fun. Our dam, we have a walkable dam that's 1.7 miles one way. So you get a 3.4 mile. You get to look at the Columbia on this side. And then as you're walking, you get the lake on this side. Then you simply switch orientation. Now Columbia is on your right side. The lake's on your left side. Cars passing you, built-in breeze, jet skiing, boating. I think there's something called the Pride of Lake Murray where you can actually take a tour on the lake and you get a dinner attached to it. So that's kind of cool. We also have, I don't know how they would be. I'm not a baseball fan, so please don't anybody come at me about not being a baseball fan. Hit me up with football. But there we have something called the Fireflies in Sagra Park, which actually has some townhomes and some condos that are attached to it. It's a really cool little setup that's actually close to my hospital and right in downtown Columbia. We also, of course, have the University of South Carolina, major SEC university. So again, we also have a teaching hospital here that people have a residency. We also have the medical university South Carolina that's here. That there's one in Charleston, but there's also one here that attaches to Prisma Health Richland. So that's really cool. The other thing, gosh, I mean, it kind of just depends on what you like. We've got Harbison Forest, which is a place where people would commonly like to go and hike, see the wildlife. We've got Riverbank Zoo, which is fun. The zoo does try to do things that are festive throughout entertaining. So they'll do kind of holiday lights. They'll do Boo at the Zoo, so you can go and take the kids for trick or treating and things like that. So there's lots of cool things depending on where you're located to be able to do. We also have different things like the Gilbert Peach Festival. We have a peach parade. There's a contest for, gosh, what do you call those? A beauty contest, right? And I'm like, I'm just in the band marching down the street, honey. That's fine, and it's hot, and let's get it over with. Throw me a peach drink or whatever, and let's roll on. Oh, and then everybody's favorite thing, sweet tea. We obviously have that. People are going to question whether or not I'm from here. I hate sweet tea, friend. I hate it. I'm sorry to say,
What?
but I will take you to McDonald's or Bojangles and make sure that you get your diabetic infused sweet tea. I promise. I'll take you there.
If I had a Bojangles here, I would be 400 pounds. I would drink that tea and eat that Cajun biscuit every single day.
Listen, that
Okay.
Cajun filet biscuit, that's an art. That is an art. Let's just be honest. See, our
It's
palates
so
are,
good.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so good. Okay.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
well, basically what I'm hearing is Colombia has so many things, lots of activities, outdoor activities, of course. It doesn't normally snow there, unlike this year.
Mm-hmm.
hmm hmm
That's
so it's a
reason.
great place for, yeah, it's a great place for like outdoor activities, weather-wise, and you have a downtown, you have a lot of things people can do. Well, let me ask you, so obviously there are suburbs, and you live in one of those suburbs of Columbia. So, if someone's looking for a home, what areas do you personally serve?
So, excuse me, one of the places I served when we mentioned marching band, I'll take you back to when I started. That was 1998, and I started with the Bands of Irmo, and we
Mhm.
literally had jackets on the back. It said Bands of Irmo, and they would ask us in Indiana, actually in Indianapolis, when we went to Grand Nationals. They said, "What's an Irmo?" I said, "It's a self help group. I respect myself and others." So Irmo is one of them that I serve. There will be Chapin, Lexington, Gilbert, Batesburg. There's some other counties that I can jump within, Swansea area, Peoria. There, it kind of depends on what someone's looking for because we can get you kind of smack dab in the middle of things, and get you in a neighborhood that has maybe a robust sort of community environment. Or we've got some that are on the lake that may have a golf, like Timberlake in Chapin. That's going to have some golfing that you can do. We can take you to Lexington. We've got some condos if what you want is kind of an all-inclusive sort of kind of a resort thing, but has like an infinity pool that overlooks Lake Murray that you can watch the 4th of July fireworks. I mean, there's all sorts of things. It just depends on what you want. Then conversely, if you want land, we got that too. You can get land and build, or we can get you a place that has something established and you go, you know what, I can live in this and I'll build later. Put a client in something just like that. So it kind of depends. We've got a lot of things that are kind of mixed up in just this area, if you will.
So lots of different options. Let me ask you this. So, as you know, the population of the US is aging. One of the largest populations is that boomer population. Do you
Mhm.
see a lot of people looking to South Carolina, your area, and even other areas of South Carolina to retire?
We do. And the interesting part, what I have always felt was underserved is our 55 and up community.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is we're building, our builders are building homes. They just don't it's you have the occasional one level thrown in, and of course people are snatching those things up. And then I think realistically, you have folks that maybe Florida's not quite it, maybe Georgia's not quite it, but South Carolina's close enough to where if they're from Indiana and they have family there, it's not as much of a trek to get back home if they needed to, or for people to come vacation. So I think it kind of depends, but we have seen folks coming here to retire. It's just I got lucky enough to where that's where I just live, so it works out
Yeah,
perfectly.
you are. You are lucky.
And
So you mentioned building like those ranch one level homes. We have a lot of Dell Webs that they're building. Do you guys have Dell Web? Like it's like a 55 and up community ranch style homes, those type of communities where they offer a lot of activities. Those are very popular. Are they doing a lot of new builds? Like you said, they're building some of those, but probably not enough. And I think that's true in all areas. But are they building like those 3 level townhomes, or what are they building in your area right now?
We are seeing more townhomes, but we're just not seeing as much of the 55 and up. And I think that's probably something we've missed, just because I know sometimes that happens, right? There's things that we notice, but it takes us a while to catch up and go, huh, we probably should pay attention to that. So a lot of times what we'll see is we may see some folks that what they do as a settle is, as long as it's got the master on the main, they just may never go upstairs, and that's used for when the families come in for the holidays and birthdays and events that they would need. That's used for the family that visits, and they just kind of stay in the common areas and then on the master on the main. So those are very popular. We've gotten pretty good with that. It's not as much the 55 and up in the ranch. We've just those
I
are we're going
see.
to have to get on resale.
I see. I think everyone I've talked to, um, even in our area, everywhere, I think they haven't build enough one level homes because that's really what I'm seeing the demand for. That what I'm seeing, like I told you, 55 and up communities, but here what I'm seeing is taking the small area and just building as many three-level townhomes as you can. Well, in my opinion, you're cutting out one of the biggest populations right now that's looking to downsize or, you know, um, move into a smaller home. So I think that's something every city and state could look at. But so, okay, we talked about people retiring there, downsizing, and things like that. So say someone is coming to work in Columbia, and obviously you guys have a lot of fun places there, but what industries are there? Where are people, you mentioned the hospital. I'm sure people are transferring from other areas to the hospital. Where else are they transferring for jobs?
So we do have a plant that is in Jenkinsville, VC Summer. So we've got a power plant here. The one thing when I mentioned the hospital, I think we are the, don't quote me, but I feel like we're the top in the top four biggest corporations within the state because we have so many hospitals. We even have a hospital within our system in Tennessee as well.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of it, we get a lot of the travel nursing as well. Just the
Mm.
hospitals, they can't support that kind of pay for an extended period of time. But for investors, it works out pretty well because then, if I can do, say, a furnished finders for 13-week, 26-week contract, I got them locked in for a 6-month lease. That's usually the minimum requirement here because Airbnbs are kind of tightening up, especially within the city limit. But we do have business professionals. We've got executives, bankers, things like that that are they kind of want to be in the downtown area, or they just come here just as a getaway sometimes.
Well, and I was going to ask you about that. I can see anywhere that has a campus, a university, a large hospital, I can see investors being drawn to that area, like you said, to purchase Airbnbs. What about housing for students? Do you see, are there a lot of investors, because similar probably to Indiana, and you're probably thinking, wow, why would someone want to invest in Indiana? Well, we have a very low cost of living. 250,000 is our median where in Indianapolis. Around universities and things, they're always trying to, find investment properties. But is it the same? Are people from out of state like California, Texas, things like that trying to invest there?
So I think you will find that a lot of times what we do is we have folks that maybe want to keep their kids here, and one of the things they'll
Mm.
do uh, is go ahead and buy something and then make sure it's a 3-2 or a 3-1.5 or a 4-2, and then that way we can go ahead and rent those or sublet those rooms out and have the parents sign the lease on behalf of the kid because I think the University of South Carolina makes it that year one. I think most do that year one has to be in the dorm, but then after that
Mm.
you can get somewhere off campus and kids are they're Ubering and driving Ubers. They're doing all these different things by way of generating their own funds. But I'm seeing that as one of the ways that people are doing that by way of investors. I've got some I don't delve in the investment world by way of representing them as much. But there's definitely a call for it, especially within the downtown area, because those kids they just want to be close. They want to be close.
Exactly. I've visited South Carolina quite a few times, and what I've noticed is there's a lot of people from the Northeast that are there. Do you find that to be the case, or maybe I was just there the same time they were having a Northeast convention?
So you bring about a great point. I was having a conversation with an agent who actually moved from New York here, and I have some clients who've relocated from New York. And the interesting part our taxes here, property tax. It is I, when I had a buyer consult with some folks from New York. They came by way of a referral, and I met with the gentleman who referred me. And the funny part was, I said, "Hey, let me just give you an idea of taxes. I'll pull up mine and and I'll show it to you." He goes, "Oh, that's not bad." He goes, "Is that per month?" I said, "Sweetheart, that's per year." He goes, "Oh my goodness." And so literally once he realized he was going to save about 20 grand a year in taxes, he went, "Okay, cool. This seems a lot easier to do," and basically retired here. And then I got his wife's family here as well. Two very different style homes, one in a neighborhood, the other one in a neighborhood, but yet again, ranch. They're older, they're retired, but was able to get them down here so that they've got help for their son. So it's just interesting, to hear what people pay. I've got family, and my wife's family lives in Long Island, and so to hear what they pay, I'm like, oh no, couldn't be me.
Mm,
Could
nope.
not be me, friend.
Nope, won't be me because it's like in the Midwest and the South, we usually tend to have some low property taxes. Here, for example, it's 1% or even less.
Mhm.
I mean, very low, and people are always shocked. And I'm like, this is what we've been used to. So sorry for you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So I mean, gosh, thinking about Colombia, it's obviously centrally located. You talked about you can get to the mountains, you can get to the beach, you can get I mean, you can get anywhere in just 2 hours. It's just such a great place. There's investment opportunities. People are retiring. Obviously, people are downsizing. Here's my final question to you. So, first time home buyers, it's a big deal. It's a big deal here. We have a low cost of living, but still, our pay is different. So it's like, a first time home buyer, they're looking at those lower price points. In Colombia or the surrounding areas, are you finding that first time home buyers have to kind of go a little further out? Can they stay in the city center? Where are they going? And also, what's kind of the median price in your area?
I think the thing that we have to kind of keep in mind with first time home buyers, at least from my experience, is the first thing I do is I ask them, excuse me, have they ever purchased a car? Because they all have expectations around purchasing a car. It's
Mhm.
very small, but realistically, they look at that big sticker price, and in their mind, they've already come up with a monthly price. And I tell them, I say, treat this much the same. I'm going to send you to a lender that's going to get us the big number, and let's just say it's 350. We can get homes lower than that, but let's just say it's 350 is what you're approved for, and of course I congratulate them because I send them there first, and then I tell them my lender has been emphatically told the bottom line is the big number helps me help them set up a search, but I need them to be comfortable with what that monthly payment entails, and they need to know because we're going to work that backwards. And I talk to the clients about that, and I say, here's what she's going to do for you. And then when they come back to me, that big number usually is not the number that we want to search at. They want to search lower because the monthly payment they need is lower. So I attack it from that standpoint, and it usually works out very, very well. I have some folks that I've literally put in townhomes that was not really on their radar. But then when we looked at it, it was new build, it was new construction. There were things that they were like, this HOA is a lot better than I thought. I'm going to have this sort of protection. I didn't think about that. Oh, wow. And I'm like, well, it's not going to hurt us to look. We'll just go and we'll look. And then they're very happy. We follow up, they're happy. I send them things, and we have a great. I think it depends, right? Because we had talked about the average first-time homebuyer being 40 years old.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they have the money to put down. So I think we have to sometimes get creative. So I think that's where having a great lender partner or partners is important. I think by way of median house price, excuse me, you can get a decent home around here in the 250s. I've got one
Wow.
listed right now. It's a 3-2, just under 1,900 square feet in Chapin, great schools. We're at 279. Now, conversely, I've got one in the northeast side of town that's beautiful. It is a beautiful house and sneaky on the outside by way of it doesn't look like it has this size, and it's over 2,500 square feet. 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, beautiful dining room, beautiful loft upstairs, and this amazing flat, literally blank slate of a fenced in backyard. So, I mean, I think it just depends on what someone's looking for. Um, and then of course I'm really pretty strategic. I guide my folks when they start looking. They go, well, what side of town should we be in? I said, well, send me some homes, and then what I'm going to have you do is I want you to drive them. I want you to drive there, and I want here's some things I want you to look for, and I'll let them do the homework. And then they go, yeah, I did see that young lady with a dog running at 8:30 in the morning. I did see that. Cool. Well, what does that tell you? And I let them self discover. Well, she's obviously comfortable enough to run by herself with a dog. Yep. Next. Okay, that's somewhere we can look. And then, they'll go and go, man, that neighborhood, there was just something about it that didn't sit right. And I said, well, does the house matter if you don't like the neighborhood? No, not really. Cool. Scratch it off the list. So I let them do a lot of self-discovering and employ them. I want them to be a part of the process, but you got to give them a little bit of autonomy to do so. Show up to open houses with my name as your agent. They're going to ask, you just tell them, here's my agent, and here's your contact card. So I just kind of set them up for the expectation of how things are going to go.
I love it. I love that you give them that homework because I think that's really important. They really need to go see for themselves, drive around, like you said. It's so important. Um, one quick question. Does South Carolina offer any sort of down payment assistance programs or anything like that? Just since we're talking about first-time home buyers.
Oh, absolutely. So we do have some rural housing options. We have the South Carolina Housing Authority, excuse me. And a lot of them we do have down payments, some of which are forgivable, some of
Mm,
which they just give it to you. We do have a Homes for Heroes program, which I think a lot of states do, that
mhm,
comes around about May. But the only thing with that one is people are literally sitting at the starting line, and when they say it's there, they run. But when the funds run out, they run out. And so
mhm.
that we do have a lot of down payment assistance. We do have a lot of different lender programs as well. So I do have a lender that I like to partner with simply because she handles my medical professionals. She understands that people work night shift, and you may not be able to, you can't just be available 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. And so she understands that, as do most lenders. But I think a lot of that too is, as the realtor, if you know what your normal client avatar looks like, you can prep your lender on how to deal with them. That you may have to talk to them on a Saturday at 4 o'clock. Well, you may have to send me a pre-approval letter on Saturday at 5 after we've seen it, and they're fine with that.
Exactly. Exactly. These lenders work when we do. So
Yeah,
I hope
the
they're
good ones
watching this video.
The good ones do. The good ones do. And then of course they'll
That's
just
right.
and the, I'm all about locking arms and busting through whatever wall we got to bust through to get it done for them. And I love that. I love that the ability to collaborate. And when a problem presents itself, it's not the problem, it's the can we find a solution and put our heads together. That's really all I'm looking for.
Like anyone watching this video, when they hear you, I mean, honestly, it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't anyone want to work with you? They all are going to want to work with you. As soon as this video gets posted, be ready. Just be ready, Rhonda. I mean,
Ready for
listen, you're
this?
smart.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea. You see what I did there? I mean, you can have the tea
You
forever. You can have it. You can have it. I'll order you two when you come see me.
Thank you. It is so nice to talk to you. You're so smart. You just are an amazing agent. I know that for a fact. I know you, like I've met you in person multiple times, so it's not like I don't really know Rhonda. She's fun. If you want someone fun, if you want someone smart, if you want someone who's going to really take care of you and really care about you, Rhonda. So I will put all of her information below if you're interested in Columbia or any of the surrounding areas. And thank you so much for talking to me. I mean, I don't even know how you had time to talk to me, but thank you.
Oh, listen, it's like I told you, when it came through that you would like to interview me, I was honored, and I was like, when and what time? You need to reschedule? I will make it happen. It is perfectly fine. And I can't thank you enough for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much, Rhonda. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too. And I can't wait to see you in Indy. Not Indy.
Yes,
You're from Indy. In London.
it's going to be soon.
Now, are you going, where are you going? Are you going somewhere first?
I am. Let me tell you about it. Have a great day.